Welcome to Tellytale. In our last episode, we left you with a puzzling question. How did the WSB inspector know that there was no rail when Sully fell? When the WSB inspector sat in her car observing the construction site, particularly the 2x4 safety rail Sully had allegedly put up around the third-floor ledge, she noted that the nail heads used to install the rail were gleaming back at her in the sunlight. If the railing had been put up 4 weeks before and was untouched, except by rain because of the strike, even galvanized nail heads would not be gleaming by this time. They would be rusted, or at least oxidized. The inspector quite rightly suspects that this is a very recent installation, probably one that took place after Sully's death. In today's episode, we dive into a new, thrilling tale of crime and deception. Meet Linc Dennebar, a man with a meticulously crafted plan for the perfect robbery. But even the best-laid plans can go awry. Join us as we unravel the intricacies of Linc's scheme and the unexpected twists that threaten to unravel it all. Get ready for an intense ride into the mind of a criminal mastermind. Let's dive in. Linc Dennebar had planned every step of the robbery with great care, but killing Mary Majeski turned out to be more of a problem than he had anticipated. Not actually doing it. He'd rehearsed that part so often in his mind, the real thing was almost automatic. Mary's late husband had been a judge, and she kept his gavel on the mantelpiece. Linc simply took it, and with one blow to the back of her head, he knew from the way it felt that one swing was all that was needed. Exactly as he'd planned. She probably never even felt it. What he didn't expect, what he hadn't planned for, was the nausea, the wrench in his gut, and the panic that overcame him when he looked at her, lying so still on the floor in front of her wheelchair. Later, when he was arrested, Linc realized it must have been the panic that led to his one big mistake. But at the time, when he called 911 on Mary's old rotary phone, the next step in his careful plan, the panic made him sound really genuine, even better than he'd practiced. Maybe too good, he thought. Might make the police get here faster. So it was a good thing he had the third step timed for speed. That was to get the rings and bracelets into the hollow bottoms of his Nikes. He knew just which ones to take. Linc had learned all about heisting jewelry from an old con up at Rojack's. That was the adult detention center where he'd done 180 days instead of at the juvenile house because some bleeding heart social worker convinced the court that Rojack's had the facilities to start him on a trade. He'd learned a trade all right. The old con had even taught him how to fix the shoes, explaining how high-tech basketball footwear was the best thing that had happened to B&E since pawn shops. Next, after pulling open all the drawers in the roll-top desk, along with a few cupboard doors in the tiny kitchen, and then breaking a glass at the sink, Linc had called Mr. Peavy back at the drugstore, telling him about the horrible scene he had just walked into. This part of the plan was something Linc had worked on very carefully. For the past several years, long before Linc came on the scene, Mary had been getting her medications delivered from Mr. Peavy's pharmacy on Thursdays. Thursday afternoons. That was an important coincidence because the people in 2 of the other apartments in the little brownstone were always at work then. Linc had taken a while to confirm this after he had first seen Mary put the jewelry into the roll top. As for the one remaining apartment, it was empty for the month, as the couple renting it was away on a summer vacation. The other part of the Peavy plan, he liked calling it that, was the delay strategy. Mr. Peavy knew how long it took to get to Mary Majeski's and back, but Linc had been stretching that a bit each time, telling Peavy that the old lady always seemed to have a bit of fetch and carry to ask of him when he showed up with her weekly package. The druggist didn't seem to mind that. She was a long-time faithful customer, and good public behavior like that sure wouldn't harm the business if he ever needed to call attention to it. Linc had wondered how he'd keep the call short. Mr. Peavy was a talker and would want all kinds of detail. But, again, being genuinely upset made it easy to just hang up. After the call to his boss, there were still crucial things left to do. First, Linc pushed over a chair and jolted a knick-knack table off its accustomed site, hard enough so that a cup and saucer fell to the rug. Yes, the rug. He almost forgot about that. Linc took a big, firm cushion and wiped out his Nike tracks, leaving those areas where they'd be reasonably expected. Finally, he went out into the main hallway, closed the door, then forced it open with a screwdriver. This would be the final, clear indication of a B&E, the cap to his story. Linc Dennebar, delivery boy for Peavy's Pharmacy, arrives at Mary Majeski's apartment same as always, sees the open door, sees the old lady on the floor, calls the police. Straight and simple. By now, he could hear a siren. Then, too. Linc sprinted to the back of the hallway, secretly blessing old buildings, and dropped the screwdriver down a cold air register. Moving quickly, for the sirens were coming from the street below now, he pulled off the surgical gloves he had been careful to wear the whole time, stuffed them down after the screwdriver, and sprinted back to the door. Here, he hesitated for several long and agonizing seconds. This was a part of the plan that he had never been able to finalize with confidence. Should he wait for the cops at the door? Too cool. Go to the top of the stairs and shout? They might shoot him. Run down the stairs to the street? A little too freaked out. Or should he stay in the apartment with old Mary? Might look loyal and concerned, but... At the last second, he opted for running down the stairs. It would look better, he figured. "Upstairs, quick, quick!" he yelled. Linc Dennebar had meticulously planned every detail of his heist, from the perfect cover story to the intricate steps of the robbery itself. But even the best-laid plans can fall apart under pressure. Despite his careful preparation, Linc made one crucial mistake that led to his downfall. So the mystery is, what was Linc Dennebar's one big mistake? Think carefully about the clues we've uncovered. Can you figure out what went wrong in Linc's plan? Leave your theories in the comments below, and stay tuned for the next episode where we reveal the critical error that tripped him up. Your insights might just crack the case wide open.